Thanks for joining us at 7:31 live on Spectrum News 1. At least 30 people are confirmed dead in Buncombe County alone. That's according to the sheriff. So much of my family is in Buncombe County, and there's not been any way to get in there, and there's not been much communication at all. I finally talked to my parents for the first time last night, and what a great sound that was to talk to them on the phone. They're okay, thankfully. I think a lot of people are still unaware of just how widespread it is because they're cut off from communication. Right. So we're able to see these pictures, we're able to see these images. Thankfully, some people have the communications to be able to share some of this stuff out.
That's just the beginning, though.
Yeah, but by and large, a lot of people, I don't think, know yet just how widespread this is, town after town after town. And Lee and Sarah, I know you guys haven't seen this yet. This is, believe it or not, the third floor of an apartment building in Asheville, and you see at least a big chunk of another building coming down in the floodwaters there. And you imagine, though, this is what someone was able to capture with a camera. Right. Imagine all the scenes playing out that we never saw. I've been over that bridge countless times in my life. Never like that, though. My goodness, this will give you chills. Look at that car right there.
In the water.
In the water, under all that debris. And all of this right there is just in the heart of Swannanoa. This quiet, peaceful valley has changed forever. We want to show you some video that we shot around the area. It's not an exaggeration, I don't think, to say it feels like a war zone. Destruction is just everywhere. And there's still one car they can't even find. Then there's this white Dodge van clinging to the riverbank. It's in a precarious situation, teetering on the verge of going into the river against the backdrop of all of this destruction. It's tough to take it all in. It's hard to describe the magnitude of the destruction. This is just a sample. And take a look at this. This is Beatree Christian Church. This has been a staple of this community for generations. I even went to Vacation Bible School here once when I was a kid. But you can see right into the sanctuary. So many different agencies from around the state and around the country have come to Western North Carolina, including Wake Med out of Raleigh, to respond to the devastation from Helene. About 500 of those people, including from FEMA, are staying here at Ridgecrest Conference Center, which has 600 rooms. It's just east of Black Mountain, right off of I-40. Art Sneed showed us around. He's the president and CEO of the Ridgecrest Foundation, which oversees the conference center. Everyone is kind of walking around, unsure about what their next steps will be. It's tough to see the state that the area is in. To see that riverbank just eaten away by the river, and you see cars still going by, but there's a huge sinkhole there. I was talking to a neighbor yesterday, Caroline, and she said, "I've seen your pictures. It looks awful. Is it as bad as the pictures show?" And I said, honestly, I think it's worse.
I imagine, yeah.
Because they can show the destruction, but what you're not seeing is the bigger picture. The magnitude of it. Yeah. It's because everywhere you look is more destruction. What got me, and I just keep going back to this in my thoughts, this one man told me, he's in his 60s right now. He doesn't think that he's going to see a full recovery in his lifetime. I had talked with one man, he had some personal loss to property, but he found bodies in mud, and yet how he was coping was by continuing to help other people. And you think about the toll that this has to be taking on people. At the very least, people are looking around and seeing all this destruction every turn that they make. That takes a mental toll on you. Yeah. But then you also think about the next level of this. Almost everyone is affected by power outages, by loss of water, cell phone signal. Right. And then you get into the people who have lost their homes. And then you get into the people who have lost family members. Right. Then you get into people like I've met, people I know who have lost multiple family members. You don't have to look far to see someone who has it worse. And it's just tough. Yesterday, I introduced you to a pastor in the Swannanoa Valley where I grew up who lost his sister and brother-in-law. And this is the couple, James and Judy Dockery. They died after a landslide swept away their home. I met up with their son, Bruce, who I know, he's a friend from high school. We went to school together, and Bruce showed us what happened and shared the memory of his parents.
Down here is essentially my mom and dad's bedroom and part of their kitchen.
They come all the way from up there.
from all the way up there.
I really appreciate him taking time to share memories of his parents. He wanted to do that. Among the items he found there, he talked about finding a couch. It was a couch that his parents had for years, and he said so many friends and relatives had stayed on it over the years. And it was really a symbol of their welcoming spirit, their hospitality. He said his mom loved to feed people. She would always have an eclair and a casserole on that couch ready for them. His dad always had a pot of coffee going and just wanted people to come and sit and talk. We've seen so many people step up and help others after Helene devastated North Carolina, despite their own challenges. I met a woman in my hometown in Buncombe County doing just that. In this week's Everyday Heroes, she explains how Helene changed her life's work. She says that really the only thing, Caroline, that anyone can control in this kind of situation is their attitude. And I'll tell you, by and large, I saw people doing just that, and she's a prime example. Thank you for joining us for our special coverage, Helene 3 months later. I'm Justin Quesinberry. While I was covering the aftermath of Helene here in the Shenandoah Valley where I grew up, I learned about James and Judy Dockery. I went to school with their son, Bruce, and he shared with me his story and his heartbreaking race to try to get to his parents. And now here we are almost 3 months after Helene, and Bruce is on a path, on a road to figuring out life without his parents. I appreciate you taking time to talk with us now. How are you doing? We're here near one of the bridges that you had to cross to try to get into your parents after the storm hit. And obviously you see there's a lot of work still to be done. What about the work that still needs to be done for you and the site where your parents lived? Welcome back. We're in Buncombe County along Highway 70 in Shenandoah, next to the Shenandoah River, looking at how things have progressed in the 3 months since Helene hit. So much was destroyed here. I stopped into Harper's Automotive about a week and a half after the storm and found cars smashed and buried. They remain here just about as they were. We'll be looking for the stories of helpers and bringing you messages of hope. Thank you so much for joining us. And I liked what she said there too. The river has a new path now. Literally, that is true. The rivers and the creeks have new paths, but the community together is on a new path after Helene.
I've got to say a special hello to a special group of kids.
Absolutely. My son Cooper's class welcomed me in yesterday, and I brought a friend. That friend was Lee.
Virtually.
Virtually. It's a phone a friend.
Oh, there you go.
Lee explained the science behind hurricanes. I talked about my experience covering Helene in western North Carolina and the destruction that I saw and the destruction we can see from these types of storms. And we begin with reactions from Catholics here in North Carolina on this historic papal selection. This was the moment that the white smoke poured out of the Sistine Chapel chimney. At a political rally on Saturday, a bullet grazed Trump's ear moments after he started speaking to a crowd in Pennsylvania. The move is unprecedented. Never before has a presidential candidate dropped out this far into the campaign. We are following breaking news this hour. Convicted murderer Ramon Alston is back in custody this morning after being on the run since Tuesday. Also worth noting, at 9:58 right now at this time, 23 years ago, the last 911 call from Flight 993 was made as they were low enough in the sky to make that 911 call, and it crashed not long after there in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. You see it right here. This is along the North Carolina-Tennessee border, a real situation involving flooding and a rock slide. A portion of I-40 closed there. You're not hearing things. Those are the sounds of cicadas around Buncombe County this weekend. I shot this video at my parents' house in Black Mountain. This brood of 17-year periodical cicadas have popped up around not only Buncombe, but also Burke, Caldwell, Catawba, Henderson, McDowell, Mitchell, and Wilkes counties. This is the kind of shot that makes me grateful for commuting at 1 a.m. It's just so many people. This is I-40 at 540. Traffic is moving. It's just a slow go with that many people out there. If you haven't stepped outside yet, don't.
He's telling you to play hooky today.
There
if you
you
haven't already
go.
left for work. So
I'll
Justin
sign your
Quesinberry
note.
told you, yeah.
It's cold. This looks like something from a movie poster, some type of
like Independence Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. If you want to get technical, that's what's called a shelf cloud. That's the basically the gust front, the wind on the leading edge of those thunderstorms. And we had a lot of them.
Coming this fall to a theater near you. Shelf cloud.
In a world.